Well, where are you going in such a hurry, Fernand?
Well, why don't you come on over? Are you in such a hurry that you don't have time to talk to your friends?
Especially when they have a full bottle of wine in front of them. He looks dejected. Could it be that we are wrong? Could it be that Dante has won out after all?
Maybe so. We'll see. Well, come on, make up your mind.
Well, you called me, didn't you?
You know what, Fernand? You look like a rejected lover.
Rejected? A young, handsome man like Fernand? You must be joking, Catarus.
No, I'm not. Just listen to the way he's sighing. It's impolite not to answer your friends when they ask you about your health.
My health is fine.
You see, Danglars, this is how things are. Fernand here, who's a brave Catalan and one of the best fishermen in Marseille, is in love with a pretty girl named Mercedes. Unfortunately, she's in love with the captain of the Pharaon. Now, since the Pharaon is put into port today, well, you don't understand.
No, I don't.
Poor Ferdinand has been dismissed.
So what if I have? Mercedes is free to love anyone, isn't she?
And if you talk it like that, that's another story. I thought you were a Catalan. I've always heard that a Catalan was not a man to let himself be pushed aside by a rival. I've always heard that Ferdinand Mondego especially was terrible in vengeance.
Poor fellow. He didn't expect Dante to come back like this without warning.
Well, in any case, Ferdinand isn't the only one who to be annoyed by Dante's happy return. Is he, Danglars?
No, and I might expect that will bring him bad luck.
Help! I've been stabbed! Help! Help! Someone stabbed me! I know who it is! It was Benedetto! Help me!
No, for I am Edmond Dantes.
Forgive me! I'm sorry! Help! I'm sorry!
Ah, is it really you, Monsieur de Morcerf? I had thought perhaps I had heard wrong.
Yes, it is I.
And to what do I owe the pleasure of seeing you at such an early hour?
You had a meeting with my son this morning.
Did you know about that?
Yes, and I also know that he had good reason to fight you and do his best to kill you.
That is true. But in spite of his all good reasons, he did not kill me. In fact, he did not even fight me.
Yet he considered you the cause of his father's dishonor and of the horrible disaster that's fallen upon my house.
That is also true. Although, I am only the secondary cause, not the primary one.
Then no doubt you gave him an explanation, or at least apologized.
Explanation, and it was he who came to apologize to me.
But to what do you attribute to his conduct?
His conviction, probably. That he found another man that was guiltier than I.
This man would be?
His father.
Perhaps you know that a guilty man does not enjoy to have his guilt thrown in his face.
I know, and I expected this.
You expected what, my son to be a coward?
Monsieur Albert de Morcerf is not a coward.
A man who stands in front of a mortal enemy with sword in hand and does not fight is a coward. I wish he was here right now so I could tell him so.
I don't suppose you're trying to tell me your family affairs. Go tell those to your son, and perhaps he'll be able to give you an answer.
No, that is not the reason why I come today. I come today to tell you that I too consider you my enemy. I come to tell you today that I hate you instinctively. That it seems I have always known you and I've always hated you. That finally, since the young men of this generation no longer fight duels, we must do it ourselves. Do you agree?
Certainly. When I told you I was expecting this, I was referring to the honor of your visit.
Very well. Are you ready?
I am always ready.
You do understand we fight until one of us no longer stands.
Until one of us is dead.
Let's go then. There's no need for seconds.
Yes, that would be useless. We already know each other so well.
On the contrary, it's because we do not know each other.
Are you sure? Aren't you the soldier Ferdinand who deserted on the Battle of Waterloo? Aren't you the Lieutenant Ferdinand who served in the French army as a guide and spy in Spain? Aren't you the Colonel Ferdinand who sold out, betrayed, and assassinated his benefactor, Ali Pasha? And have it all those Ferdinands put together made Lieutenant General Ferdinand, Count de Morcerf, and Peer of France?
Scoundrel! I want to know your real name so I can pronounce it on the field of honor while I plunge my sword into your heart. Edmond Dantes?
Danglars.
Count! You've no doubt come to express your sympathy. Oh, do be careful, Count. The young men of our generation are unlucky this year. There's our puritanical public prosecutor, Monsieur de Villefort, who's losing his family in such a strange manner. And then there's Monsieur de Morcerf, dishonored and dead. And then there's myself, covered with ridicule by that devilish Benedetto. And
what?
well, haven't you heard?
What? Another misfortune?
My daughter Eugenie has left us.
Impossible.
It's true, Count. She was covered with ridicule and by that wretched scoundrel, and she asked my permission to make a trip. She left the night before last.
With Madame Danglars?
No, with a relative. Poor Eugenie. I know her character, and she'll never consent to go back to Paris.
Such sorrow would be unbearable for a man his only fortune would be his daughter. But it ought to be quite bearable for you, a millionaire. And no matter what the philosophers say, money is a great consolation. And you, the king of the world of finance, must have the greatest consolation.
Yes, if fortune is a consolation, I ought to be consoled. I'm rich after all.
So rich, Baron. Your fortune is like the pyramids. If one would want to destroy them, they wouldn't dare to. If one should dare, they wouldn't be able to.
That reminds me, I was signing checks when you walked through. Would you allow me to finish?
Certainly.
Right this way then. Have you ever seen so many scraps of paper, Count? Each worth 1,000,000 francs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000,000 francs. That's how I do business.
Wonderful. Especially if it will be paid in cash, which I assume it will be.
It will.
Credit is a fine thing. Only in France will you see 5 scraps of paper worth 5,000,000 francs.
Do you doubt it?
No.
You don't seem very convinced. Perhaps you would like to go yourself. Please accompany my clerk. You'll see on the draft of the treasury the very same sum.
No, the thing is so extraordinary. I'll make my own experiment. My credit with you is 6,000,000 francs. I've withdrawn 900,000 francs. You still owe me 5,100,000 francs. So I'll be taking these 5 scraps of paper, and I'll give you this receipt of 6,000,000 francs, which I filled out this morning because I felt in great need of money.
What? Are you taking those? Excuse me, Count, but I said I'd pay those for the hospitals, and it's a deposit that I said I'd pay this morning.
Oh, that's different. See, I'm not determined to take these 5 checks. I was only going to take them so I could say, without a 5-minute delay, the Danglars firm paid me my money on the spot, and that would have been remarkable. So, should I give you your checks back?
After all count, your receipt is as good as cash.
Of course, and if you're in Rome, the Thompson and French firm would pay you as easily as you've paid me. So, should I keep these?
Yes, keep them. No, keep them. You know how formalistic a banker is. I wrote those checks for the hospital, and for a moment it seemed to me that I'd be robbing them if I didn't give them the very same checks. As if 1 franc were not the same as the other. Excuse me, Count.
I excuse you, and I put your money in my pocket.
But I still owe you 100,000 francs.
Oh, but that's only a trifle to the convenience of the amount. Keep it, and we'll consider our account settled.
Are you speaking seriously, Count?
I don't joke with a banker.
Thank you, Count. It has been a pleasure doing business with you. Goodbye. To Madame Danglars. Good. Still valid 2 months.
What? Are you hungry?
Yes, I'm hungry. I'm very hungry, in fact.
Then what would you like to eat?
Chicken, fish, meat, anything you have that's edible.
Chicken, shall we say?
Yes, chicken.
Okay, it will only be a moment. Here is your chicken.
Do you have a knife and fork?
I happen to have... Yes, I would. Before you eat, why don't you pay?
Yes, of course, as is traditional among honest Christians.
I think you still owe me something.
How much do I owe?
About 99,980.
Hello? Take all my money. I don't care if I leave this cave. I don't care if I ever have my freedom. Just let me live.
Are you really suffering?
Yes, I'm suffering. I'm suffering horribly.
And yet there have been men who have suffered more than you.
I don't think so.
Yes, those who have died of hunger.
It's true. There have been others who have suffered more than I, but at least they were martyrs.
Do you repent at least
Of what must I repent?
of the evils you have committed?
Oh, yes, I repent. I repent.
Then I forgive you.
The Count de Monte Cristo?
No, you're mistaken.
Then who are you?
I'm the man whose fiancée you prostituted. I'm the man whose father you neglected and left to die. I'm the man you condemned to 14 years in hell.
No.
I am Edmond Dantes.
No!
Stand, for today, I spare your life. Your two accomplices were not as lucky as you. One of them went insane and the other died. And now, you will eat and drink, like I do. You will be my guests today.
Where are you going in such a hurry, Fernand? Poor fellow. He thought Dante... He seems dejected.
Oh, you